You're listening to the Listen Up Show, Startup Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Mitchell Chadro, your host. Today on Show 041. Today, we're talking with Jessica Sarkeesian. What are we going to speak with Jessica today about? Her startup, Rezzio.co, her video resume platform. Finding a job is more than merely submitting a simple resume and application. Jessica is a leader and played Division I soccer for 4 years at Drexel University. As a founder of Rezzio, it first started in a classroom at Drexel at the heart of the university's close school of entrepreneurship. How to land that job? It can be as simple as a 3-step process, enhancing your personal profile and how your personality is perceived when applying for a career. Listen up, trusted friends. It's your business, it's your family, it's your life. Now let's get started.
Inspiring the younger generation, something I'm also very passionate about. And the whole story, the entrepreneurship story, has been not an easy one, but I think everyone has their own and their unique way. And the struggles through it. I think I'm at the end of the. Hopefully I'm at the end of the struggle. But yeah, I think the entrepreneurship story is important, especially for high school students. I think they need to know as they grow up a little bit. I think as the younger generations come up and outsourcing becomes more and more prominent, I think entrepreneurship is going to be very important for them to have job security. I don't think there's job security in corporations anymore.
Please sign up to my email list for the latest special offers exclusive for our Listen Up Show Startup Entrepreneur Podcast audience at mitchellchadro.com/sign up. I have been providing business advice, resources, and help to entrepreneurs for over 20 years, and I'm looking forward to helping all of you. Sign up for my email list, again, at mitchellchadro.com/sign up. I will provide you with full transcript for each interview, my ebook, 30 Tools to Start Up, the Startup Checklist, and many other education and training materials, all back at mitchellchadro.com/sign up. Now enjoy the show. Tell me a little bit about the company.
So we're a video resume platform, and we're looking to help individuals enhance their personal profile.
So I'm somebody who has a resume, but I want to do a video resume?
Yeah, so you have your resume, you have your cover letter, you have your LinkedIn, you have your personal portfolio. What we found, and my personal story towards it, is I played soccer at Drexel. So I spent a lot of my time playing soccer, dedicating my time to practices, school, and everything, and it wasn't really reflecting on my resume. Me as a person, I'm not someone who looks that good on paper, but if you get me into the interview, more likely than chances than not, I'll get hired. And I think a lot of people in college have that problem where their resume does not reflect who they are. So in one of my classes at Drexel, we had to create a video resume. I said, what a great idea for students and virtually anyone who can't seem to get past their resume cycle to get the interview.
But isn't the issue more how to get through to the gatekeeper? Because a lot of the companies have their own specialized systems that you basically have to fill out to sort of get in, correct?
I mean, eventually that's where the space we want to get into is helping them get through. We do have support. So our company has support where, say, you're applying for a specific job and you want us to read and revise your resume, we can do that as well, and we will tailor it to the specific job, being that we know the keywords in each industry. We've kind of figured them out. But for now, we're focusing on the video resume aspect to be, once you get past that, to be a front of the line and helping the companies and corporations save the time. So if you have 100.
But how will the video resume work? Because most of the companies don't accept video resumes. So how do you propose then the student or the intern or the college graduate sort of get into the company using this?
So from the research we've done, is 80% of HR recruiters will open a video resume if it's sent to them. So though it's not a standard right now, we hope to create it to be a standard, and 80% chance that it will be opened as well. And the fact that it will more likely than not be beneficial, we're very, very early stage. So we've had 4 or 5 people use our product, and the amount of response has been overwhelmingly positive. Through people have come to the applicant and said, your video resume is the reason we're bringing you in for this interview, or your video resume is the reason we're giving this phone call, and they referred back to the video resume as points of reference for their conversation and for their interview.
It says here that stand out and get hired for free.
Yes.
So how do you make money?
So right now, the video, we are early stage, so we're testing. So the video, us helping you create the video is free. Later down the line.
Who do you use for that?
Us. We do it internally.
You do the video, and so it's fairly time consuming. I mean, are you able to handle a certain number of people to basically do this?
Yeah, it takes about right now we're early stage, so we don't have the technology to do it on its own. Eventually, we're looking to get patents, and then we're looking to get the technology built. That is a hands-off experience. But right now, while we're scaling and just trying to get the numbers and the proof of concept, it's very doable on our own to maintain the number of
our startup round. For all your hosting needs, head on over to mitchellchadrow.com/hosting. mitchellchadrow.com/hosting for all your web hosting needs. Who do you use to host this website?
So right now I'm using Wix from the front end.
Okay.
For the back end, the way it works is right now, since we don't have funding and we don't have hosting, we're literally trying to get a proof of concept. We're going in through Drexel. So Drexel is our main hub for usage, and what we want to do is get all the students using it. And we understand that HR departments aren't there yet, students aren't there yet, so we're trying to create the market where it is there. So we're getting the students to create it using through the SCDC, which is our co-op platform, and we're getting research from the SCDC applicants and HR departments to see if it will be beneficial. So they've already been through. You're making the argument that they've already been through getting through the computer through the SCDC process. They get through it, so it's a very competitive situation. So right now our main focus is Drexel University, getting them all to make their video resume and differentiate themselves and kind of create a market where, well, that person has it, I need it too. So such as LinkedIn. Everyone has LinkedIn.
Now, it says here that you hired a team of people to basically do certain things for you. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have Katie, who's our lead developer. She actually works with Tori Birch. Her brother Alex has been very helpful as well.
And so are they contractors? Are they employees? Are they co-founders? I mean,
contractors.
They're contractors.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've contracted them out, and they've been helping us develop the technology to be more of a hands-off experience, which we hope to be launching in the next couple weeks, and we will be testing with our first Drexel 102.
When you say hands-off, you mean I'll be able to go to your website and do this all on my own?
Yes.
Can you take me through as much as you can, because you had mentioned about patents?
Yeah, it's kind of we're waiting for the patent pending situation.
All right. So have you already filed that?
No. So we're very, very early stage. I just put a phone call in this week, so we will hear later next week.
Are you working with an attorney that has been provided to you by Drexel, or are you using some of the competition money for that?
Yeah, we're using some of the competition money, or
one of the things that we're doing is obviously talk to business leaders who are pretty seasoned, but touch base with people that are startup, pre-startup, people that have good ideas that are in the development phase, because it's also helpful for other people to hear, because you're a lot further along than most are right now, and for some other startups that have been in the process already for a few years, that's where you basically want to get. So it's all good, and I appreciate you answering a few questions. It says here you created you organized a board of directors. Tell us about who they are, and where'd you come to them, and how'd you develop that?
So my board of advisors have been mainly based off my connections within my friends and family network. Devin Beck is our technological advisor. He has been helping us develop.
Is he a professor at Drexel?
No. Well, so Devin Beck works for Kaltura Software, and Kaltura Software is a video platform that does the back-end platforming for companies such as like the Ellen Tube and a bunch of other companies like that. So they do the back-end video responding. So he has a lot of experience in the video space. So that's why he's our technological advisor, helping us figure out what best way to create our final.
So is he like a paid vendor, or is he doing it?
All of our advisors are just helping out to help out. No one's paid yet. No one has equity yet. We're just very, very early stage trying to figure out how we can build the team and how we can get to the point where everyone can get a cut of the pot. So right now he's just helping us out and advising us. Him, Peter, and John are all.
How'd you come to the name?
Rezzio. So Rezzio kind of came about. It was like a weird brainstorming session. Kind of just sitting around saying video resume, V Rezzio. We actually were Rezzio, V Rezzio at first, and we found people were pronouncing it Rezzio instead of V dash Rezzio, so we just dropped the V and kind of went to Rezzio. But it started with VR, as in video resumes, to VidRes, VidRizzy, VidRezzy, VidRezzio.
What was the name of the video company again?
Kaltura Software.
Because there's others like Vimeo and Vimeo Pro, and a lot of people obviously.
It's very back-end coding. If you weren't like a coder or developer, I don't know if you would be using their solutions. I don't know exactly Kaltura's in and outs, but from my understanding, they're just a platform that has a bunch of code that developers can use and they can license from. But Kaltura itself also, their code is used in companies such as like the Ellen show, and they do like the Eagles page and things like that.
How long have you been in the you're in the closed school, correct?
Yeah. So I graduated. I actually was not in the closed school because they added the closed school later. So when I was a junior, I believe, is when they added the closed school. So I was too far around in my degree to actually join the university, but I was in the business school and I did take all the entrepreneurship classes, and one of the classes is where life strategies. Life strategies is when we created video resumes, and I thought, wow, what a great idea! Like a lot of people should have one. Not only should a lot of people have one, a lot of people don't know what they're doing. So why not create a company around us helping them? So it came out of one of the closed school classrooms. But I've had Chuck as a professor, I had Damien as a professor, I had Roy as a professor, so all of them, and then they suggested I applied for the competition. I applied for the competition. We won third place, and now I'm actually stationed in the Biata incubator with them ever since. They meet with me I have my board of advisors that's not affiliated with Drexel. I feel as if Drexel is its own board of advisors. Even they're just all advisors.
I've really enjoyed talking to a lot of the people at Drexel. They're really good people. As far as testing the idea, I know you mentioned that you had 4 people that have already used it. I mean, besides yourself, how many other founders are there? I mean, are you going to go out and try to find more people? And for right now, it's free. So how do you plan on making money with this?
So right now it's free. The website you're actually looking at right now is kind of our block website until we get our patent, until we get our back end and our actual product up and running. So you're just gonna leave it like this until you get your patent. No. Right now we have we're testing with Drexel University. So we've tested the proof of concept a little bit with our 4 or 5 users, and now we're going to test within the classroom in the winter term. So we have 30 users coming in within the winter term, and we're going to see what we need to change, what's good about the process, what's bad about the process, what else we can do to help.
How are you finding those 30 people?
It's a classroom. It's a business 102 classroom. So
you just walk into the class and you say, all you guys are going to participate in this and, give us feedback.
Yeah. So my professor, Sue Epstein, who's been at Drexel, I had her freshman year for Business 101. I've been connecting with her over this concept for probably about 6 months. And she's been helping me through the process. And once she saw a little bit of traction and saw that it might be something that would be beneficial for her students, she suggested that we should test within her students, not on a large scale, just not something they could use, not something that they have to use, not something they have to do. They have to do it, but not something that they have to use in a scale, but just to see our process and kind of as a favor to help out just a Drexel alumni. So we're going to test within the Business 102 classroom, and hopefully those students who are going to co-op, they'll be using our video resume to showcase their skills. So then we'll get more exposure from there. We want to grow slowly at first and kind of make sure the product is right. So over these next 2 months, we're in a controlled setting, I would say, testing the product.
You had mentioned about people being able to go onto the website and basically doing their own videos, but you said for right now you're actually going around and taking the videos of the 4 people and the 30 people that you're going to go into the class. You're actually going to physically go there. But you're saying in the future you're saying that people are going to create, it's going to be self-serve almost. They're going to create their own videos. So who's going to help them edit the videos and splice the videos and do all of that? Because
all on our website, all through the website service, and then how we're going to make money is they could do it for free, or we're going to have a couple of premiums. So they could do it for free, but how well could someone do it for free? As you suggested, the value we offer is giving them the suggestions and cutting it for them, and et cetera, et cetera.
So right now you're actually writing the resume for them. So
we're not writing it for them. They're able to express themselves how they want to be expressed. We just kind of point them and give them feedback in the right direction, and we compile the final video as well. And then we send it back to them either through YouTube so that they can have it. We don't have to host it on our website.
MitchellChadro.com/books sponsors our Fast Pitch for books, audio books, guest recommendations, and the books that I read to start up each day. My book club recommendations back at MitchellChadro.com/books. To see more of my recommendations and recommendations of our guests, just go to MitchellChadro.com/books. It's your #1 resource for book reviews and recommendations. Anything that you're able to tell me about you personally, just to connect to the audience in terms of who you are and get a little bit more in depth with that?
Yeah. So kind of my story throughout this whole process has kind of been Drexel University's capabilities of building entrepreneurs. Has been where my story, where I've been going for now, since I don't want to get too in depth into the product and process. Just being a business student at the school, I was a Division I athlete. I played soccer there, and finding a way through entrepreneurship through how the school is structured. And how it's taken me just being a normal student and having entrepreneurship kind of find me based on the close school, and how I guess in general the close school and Drexel has been so innovative in pushing students to kind of do their own businesses and startups, and the amount of support that I wouldn't be where I am without them. So with my professor, we're testing with my school, with the co-op program, with Chuck, Damien. I mean, they'll meet with me every 2 weeks if I need them to. So having that support, I think that's kind of the Drexel story, entrepreneurship story, is kind of how this company's come about. I mean, the concept came from one of the classrooms. So that's the story of you never
thought that this was going to be something that you were going to go. I mean, I guess before you started Drexel, you knew that you wanted to obviously be an entrepreneur and sort of go down that whole path. But you're saying that they've been more than helpful in terms of just helping you get off the ground and sort of develop the idea, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I've since I was a senior in high school, I had the stupidest ideas, but I always knew I wanted to kind of think of something and kind of make it what I want it to be. And my freshman year, I came in with a trash bag idea. I went to the entrepreneurs, to the mentor group, and said, "This is a concept I have. What do you think?" And they said, well, this. And then I had to take a step back into the entrepreneurship world, and I was like, wow, there's more to it than I have this great idea. Let's make millions. I wanted to be the instant rich, right? As any 18-year-old is going into college with an idea. So I wanted to be the instant rich, and they kind of helped me understand that this is an idea, but this is a great trash bag idea, but there's more to it. There's a market, there's this, there's that. You need to understand that. And I said, you're right. So I was able to think about it, and I was like, no, you're right. That doesn't work out. So then my junior year, I came up with like a charging wristband idea, and they have a Launch It program, which is you start from an idea and you can bring it through a 10-week class course, and by the end of it, you should launch your product or trash it. They say fail quick, right? So I had the bracelet idea concept. It didn't work out. So then as I took another class, and I came up with this video resume idea through the classroom. So without these like steps and increments, I don't think my company, myself, would be the entrepreneur.
So very, very persistent, very tenacious. You don't give up. So these are all good characteristics of a true entrepreneur.
Yeah, I guess. I suppose, right?
Absolutely.
I think there's more story in that, in the entrepreneurship a story and getting from where I started to here. I think there's a story in my company. Like I mentioned, we have patents.
I mean, the reason why I do the podcast is because someone's going to hear your story. Someone's going to be actually out there, whether they be in high school or whatever, saying, gee, I don't know what to do. And then they'll be like, oh, I remember listening to Jessica on the Listen Up podcast show, and, you know, she was able to sort of do this, and this. And I don't want to be exactly like her, but I know that you can do it because I heard her story, so obviously it can be done.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I'm doing this. You mentioned that there's more of a personal story here. I mean, this is not just about business. It's about balancing family and life as well. So maybe you could tell me how you sort of balance all of this and, you know, keep your head on straight and do your schoolwork plus all this.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you that my schoolwork was not priority back in the day. It was soccer, a little bit of schoolwork, and then trying friends, family, and then the company hasn't come about until after I graduated. So I didn't actually found the company until after I graduated.
So this is really like your new soccer.
Yeah, it's my new soccer, and it's my new addiction.
Does this let me ask you, does this kind of take it above soccer? I mean, is this like to the next level up in terms of passion?
It actually, I think it replaces, because being a Division I. Soccer was your first love, and it's been replaced with entrepreneurship, which is great. Yeah, because it's hard. I don't think people talk about it enough, being an athlete all your life and then not. And then you wake up one day and you're not. So it's hard to find something. I mean, I had a couple. In what ways is it similar, and in what ways is it totally different? So, in the ways that it's totally, it's different. It's different in like a lot of ways, I would say. Being out and being able to experience soccer is just more of a hands-on experience. So someone with severe ADD and dyslexia sitting down and actually physically being able to do work, it was a hard transition. So it's not transitioning from being always active to actually buckling down and being able to do something is a hard transition, but I found... No, you're referring to yourself about the ADD and the... Oh, yeah. With the ADD story? Believe it or not, for me, you become more real to me. Yeah. You had to not only start up a business, but you had to basically get through all these other struggles. People want to hear about that. So tell me a little bit about that and how that differs from soccer. So you're saying your ADD, all of that doesn't affect soccer, and somehow it affects when you're sitting down to sort of do a business plan? Yeah, I mean, my ADD, I think, did affect in soccer, but I think it was in a positive manner, where I was just kind of all over the place and playing and never really knew what I was doing next on the field, and kind of, it was good. I was a little focused, but at the same time, in my play, you can tell that just like dribbling here and dribbling there, you never knew what was coming next. So, well, you know, that's very interesting, you know, on a different level, because now that I'm thinking of people that actually have that, are you saying that would actually be therapeutic for them, because you're kind of out there, and like you said, sometimes you could be all over the place, but that's the one time where it almost can benefit you. Yeah, without a doubt, I'm a strong believer in working out and how it just gets your brain going. So even before like sitting down and working, I try and work out, because my brain's all over the place. So what has been some of the challenges there? Because it says here that you went through this business plan competition to come in third, and so obviously you're able to sort of overcome that, but there's the challenge, right? Yeah, I think it's been age. I mean, I don't want to say, to me, I'm old. I'm 25. Whoa. So, yeah, I know. I'm only 26, but I've been practicing law for over 20. So you do the math. I hear you. I mean, it's just I graduated in 2015, so being a year out of school and realizing it's been a hard process. It's been a lot of pressure from my family saying, when are you going to get a job? Yeah, right. Them not understanding that I think I have a job. I think I'm doing something and creating something. So a little bit of that pressure, a little bit of just growing up in general, being able to sit down. But I think I've had to train my brain the way I've trained. 23 years of my life have been all over the place. I was able to run outside and kind of make a living there. So per se, through scholarship, et cetera. But now I have to make a living in another way. So let me ask you, how much pressure really is it? Because you're 25 right now, the company is not bringing in revenue.
revenue. You have family that are basically saying, hey, when are you going to grow up and get a so-called job? This is a job for you. This is more than a job. This is your new love. This is your new soccer. Come on. I mean, and they can't talk about it that way.
I kind of attribute it to soccer as well. Like when you're shooting a free throw, and there's all that noise in the background, you just got to zone it out. And you got to kind of keep pushing forward. And I think that's something my dad's taught me kind of all my life, is you can't listen to the other noise and the background noise. If you know what you're doing and you see it, just keep working at it. With that being said, I wouldn't.
Unless it's good noise, like the cheers and the screams of the people out there who are cheering you on.
Zone it all out and just kind of focus on what you have to do, and don't. I would even say the cheers, don't let it go to your head as well. I think I learned that through soccer. Soccer as well.
What are you telling some of the high school students that are coming out? You walk into a high school class. These are kids that they might want to go down this road, and they're maybe thinking about it earlier on than later. So that's a benefit. What is your advice that you tell them, because you're obviously a lot further along in the process than they are right now?
Yeah, I mean, so I work at a daycare. I substitute teach just to make a little extra money, and so I love working with kids, and I always try to let them know that they should always be thinking. Like, there's always a problem. I even tell my friends now, not even like people in high school, but when I do come across high schoolers, I tell them the same thing. I say, if there's a problem and if you want it to be solved, how can you have to just think in your head, how can you make money off of it? There's always a problem that can be solved. And the answer is, how can you solve it? And even if it's something stupid, just have the idea, think, can it be done? And just work your way through it. And if it can't, you at least thought. You at least went through the thought process, and you at least brought something through your head, and your brain's thinking. You're going to have a million stupid ideas before you have one good one. And listen to other people. If the market, I wouldn't say the market's itself to the high school student, but I would say people are going to tell you what they want. So you know what you want, but if you have that thought, someone else does too. So see if other people are thinking the same way you are too, and see what you can do. If it's stupid, it's stupid. Move on. But you're young, so let's think of them, move on, think of them, move on, think of them, move on, think of it, make it.
Yeah, we talk about relationship management. Obviously, every business needs sales, and you're either a people person or you're not. So I'll have a few questions here. How are you going to sort of bring in those sales, those people? Because again, I don't know if that's your natural inclination is sales and business development. But, one of the ways that I actually connected with you, and I actually look at LinkedIn as a really good 21st century natural relationship building tool. I mean, it used to be, you used to go to a lot of these conferences. You used to go, and maybe you can bump into 2 or 3 or 4 different people. But on LinkedIn, you can meet so many people. Now, some people might say that that's very superficial and that you really can't build really good relationships. One of the things that stood out for me when I saw your profile was first the Cradles to Crayons, because when my daughter was doing her mitzvah project for her bat mitzvah, the family and we decided to volunteer for her project at Cradles to Crayons. And I thought, wow, this is probably a very decent person, because she used to volunteer here, she used to work here, and it's really good. It's really good work, and I've come to know the organization, and I certainly would financially support them as well. Tell me about your other activities and how you're going to sort of bring sales and relationships to the organization.
Yeah, I think relationships are everything. Just being a people person in general, just being able to understand people and genuinely have a care for how people are doing, and genuinely have a care for if they're doing well, and just like friendship in general. I think it's like super important. So even now, yesterday, I spent the entire day sending out a survey to Drexel students through the co-op process. So I spent probably the entire day individually texting players on my team and old players on my team, and without the relationships that I've built with my team and random people that I talked to maybe 1 or 2 times, or someone I had a class with my freshman year, I still feel comfortable enough to text them. So I think in sales, I think it's important to just be able to reach out and not to be afraid. You're going to get a no, but
our wrap-up round, mitchellchadrow.com/photos for all your graphic design. What's your target market for the product and the solution?
Our initial target market, because they say start small, would be college seniors looking to enter the work world and college students looking to get their internships. Then as we scale out, because we find they're more comfortable, the millennials are most comfortable in front of a camera, so the college seniors and younger are most adaptable to the concept. As you get 1 year out of graduation, from the research I've done, less and less likely to create a video, and more likely they need support on how to, because they're not as comfortable in front of the camera. So as you get all the way up to age 30, I would say 29 and below is our main target market. But initially college seniors, college internships. But as you get farther and farther out of graduation, they're less and less accepting of being in front of a camera, just based on generation.
Video is so powerful, and that's why I think that the concept that you have is a very interesting one in terms of how people are going to get jobs, going forward.
Yeah.
If I could see somebody versus if I could just hear them, it's a lot different. You know what I mean? It's a pretty powerful thing. I'll be in touch real soon. Only one thing. Have an awesome weekend.
Thanks.
All right?
Well, have a good weekend. Thank you.
Yeah,
so
take
much.
care. Be good. All right. Bye-bye now. In closing, let me ask for my listeners' help. First, please subscribe to my email list at mitchellchadrow.com/sign-up. You will get all the full interview transcripts, my ebook, 30 Tools to Start Up, where I talk about these free resources in show 006. You'll get the startup checklist, education and training materials, and other resources just by signing up at mitchellchadrow.com/sign-up. Listen up, trusted friends. It's your business, it's your family, it's your life. Go out and live it. Back at mitchellchadrow.com/sign-up, help me boost the rankings of the Listen Up Show, the Startup Entrepreneur Podcast, by providing a well-written review in iTunes. mitchellchadrow.com/iTunes. It helps other people find the show. If you actually need instructions on how to do this, you can find that back at mitchellchadrow.com/sign-up. Thank you so much for subscribing to my email list and providing a written review on iTunes. Until next time.